everybody, so I've just finished doing the rats nightly kind of just tidy up, and I kind of figured that I'd do a cage tour because I think after this layout I'm going to try and change it up, and maybe it'll be good to just talk about this one. So let's start at the top. The very top we have, this is where I store boxes for future DIYs. I might suddenly pause as well, and it just means that a rat's gone somewhere I didn't expect them to, like Nova, come on. So at the very top, I have got two Sputniks, and I rotate, you know, the colours every so often, not that it matters or the rats really care. Each Sputnik has a little bit of the substrate in the bottom, and the rats like to take little bits of the fleece that they've chewed or little bits of the shredded newspaper I put in here to make their own beds. I've just cleaned them out so they're empty just now. And the rats do sleep in them, especially Bear likes this one. But I also use them for when I'm feeding them, so sometimes there will be food in the Sputniks too. There's a hammock just at the back here, and that's mainly because without the hammock there was just a bit of blank space, and they seem to like kind of hopping. Poppy normally sleeps up here. She likes to be high and at the back. And we've got these kind of clips just so that they're big enough that nobody can get their feet stuck or caught whenever they're climbing around. They can actually fit their heads through it, which worries me a little bit, but they're big enough that they can fit their heads through, but they don't seem to attempt to fit their whole bodies through. They'll back up. So if I'm giving them a treat, they might try and come through these, which is a bit disconcerting, but these clips are the recommended ones, so stay tuned. Now you'll notice that there are a lot of rope in here. This is actually old climbing rope. I boulder, and one of the climbing centres I climb at, they have like top roping and different kind of, oh, I can't remember the other one. Trad climbing I think, but I don't think it's actually trad. Anyway, I have a lot of friends who climb and need ropes to climb, even though I'm a boulderer. So whenever they are looking to repurpose their old ropes, because by the time they are needing to get rid of them, I guess, they're not safe to be climbed with anymore, I actually take them and I just put them in the washing machine and then knot them for kind of easier climbing ropes, or I'll twist them, or I will just have them like this one, where they're just really kind of tightly tied, just banners. So you'll see a lot of rope, and that's where I got it from. It's just the climbing gym, and I got it all for free. You can see here at the back, so it is attached to the top, so I'll talk about it. This is just a Parrot Toy actually, and it's coconuts that are attached to each other by just some rope. And I use these for stuffing stuffable stuff in. So normally bedding will be put in here, but also some treats or some of their mix. And I just think it's a really interesting way of hiding different things from them, because they can get their hands through the holes, but mainly they have to kind of balance on like the ropes or balance on a hammock, and then try and work out a way to get what they want out of it. At the very back here, this is just a Parrot Toy. We do have clips from when Daisy was trying to figure out how to use it, and I went away on holiday and nobody knew how to get treats out of it, and now they do. So whenever I put treats in, normally by the next morning they are gone. Oh, 1 minute, I've got Nova trying to get out the top. There you go. And I really like it. So what happens is you put treats in, you then spin it just to get them the treats to the either side, and the rats have to spin the object until it comes to the whole end, and then they put their little fleece in to remove them. Sorry. At the very back here I have a second level. So this level is mainly just because I had some space, and I found that if I put shelves in the cage, the shelves can smell quite bad. However, if I use cat litter trays, which is what this is, and then I just poked holes in it and then attached it here using one of these hooks, then it doesn't smell as much. There's a litter tray at the back because this is one of the main corners that they all go to the toilet on, and these sides weren't high enough to stop poo from going down the back, so I put a litter tray in here. Then just here I have tried to use, please don't, I tried to use lava ledges in front of the water bottles, but I found that the rats just chew them and then don't like standing on them. So an example is probably this lava ledge here. With this water bottle is not as popular as this water bottle, which is always like half full despite being filled up. So I've just got one of the chinchilla kind of perches here. Oops, Poppy wants to sniff me. Hello, darling. Hello, how are you? It's lovely to meet you. Hello, gorgeous. So Nova is demonstrating the shelf, and this shelf, along with this one and the one over here, are the popular shelves for the rats to sit on whenever we come into the room and they're begging us for some food. Oh, bye bye, Nova. Where are you going? Can you hear a neighbour going home? Yes. And you go, Poppy. So in the centre we have an old cat scratch post from, my neighbours have cats and they never really used their old cat tree. So when they were getting rid of it, they asked us if we wanted these for the rats. They pet sit the rats for us sometimes, and I was like, actually that'd be a really cool way of us giving the rats a different thing to climb. So with the ropes, we're hoping that they will climb, or sorry, well, they will climb on them, but what we're hoping from the ropes is it'll be all about balance, it'll be about agility. For the middle one, that's kind of, this one here, that is the middle one, it's all about, you know, how do the rats climb when, for example, they are bear hugging their way up my leg. So it's just different ways. I find that they don't really climb up that one. I mean, they can't because there's so much stuff attached to it. But what they do is they will use their tail and hook their tail around it. Sorry, I'm not good at focusing on the rats and focusing on the camera at the same time. They'll actually hook their tails around whenever they're trying to, for example, go from here up to here, just for a little bit of stability, which I just think is quite nice. It's also very stable in the cage as well, so it's a really nice anchor point for the middle. Going down, we get to the middle of the cage. Now, this hammock here is for sleeping. This hammock is a fall break more than actually a hammock, although they do sleep in it. At the very, very back, so there is a gap here where a rat could be trying to climb from here to here and they could fall straight down, which is why we've got hammocks in the background there. Although nobody really uses that corner, they mainly come forward, but safety first. The point of an active layout is that you don't, I guess, set anybody up for failing. And at the very, very back there, that's another Parrot Toy. So I use that as an anchor point for the rope because there is wire going through it, so it just gives a little bit of stability. Now if we go down, so this is a first edition Liberta Explorer. Now we go into where the rats really just kind of, I guess, eat. So you can see how big this coconut thing is. So it will span roughly the entire height of an Explorer. So it means that at the ground level then they always will have kind of that opportunity to be able to kind of get into it. 1 minute, sorry, I'm concentrating on Nova again. She's on my hand. Do you want to come, Poppy, too? You can come if you want. She doesn't actually like going on my arm. She prefers to go on my jumpers or hoodies. No? I mean, you don't need to. You can stay there if you want. She's like, I'm making my own way in the world. Right, they normally get let out on the ground now, so they might depart. So you'll probably recognise this. This is from the Christmas DIY. This is what happens to most of my DIYs. They end up being, oh, you can use your wheel. They end up being repurposed and put into the cage. So if there's anything that could not be safe, it's cut off, like the decorations, for example. They pulled most of the decorations off and now they don't have them. But yeah, they normally retire, I guess, in the cage. And then in the back we have a wheel. I think it's a 14-inch wheel, so it's big enough for all the girlies to use them as an adult and also Bear. I've got this tube, bendy tube here. Normally it's attached to stuff. It was attached to the old box that was down here, but after 2 weeks that box was minging, so now it's just being used as a kind of S shape, and I often they dig it over toward the wheel and then it makes weird noises and I have to dig it back. This coconut, rest in peace. This coconut, sorry. I was looking at it with my head, not through my phone. This coconut did used to dangle, and some rat, this rat, decided to renovate it by chewing on it. So now we just use it as somewhere to hide more food, I guess. All of it did have spears and everything. It's a parrot toy again, or a bird toy. And now it is no more. And you go. Another thing is, so the Explorer doesn't come with a deep tray. I ordered, so this is made out of Perspex, and the reason why it's here is because I wanted a really deep substrate layer, as you can see here, for feeding my rats in. So I said that throughout the entire kind of height of the cage, I will put, I didn't know you'd use this. Now I know you all use it, and I've seen you use it now. All my rats use the wheel. I'm so happy. You're going to be so athletic. Yes, you are. Once again, I have Nova behind me, trying to escape. Get back in. Yeah, so I ordered this Perspex, and then I just used tape. Ooh, a specific type of tape, but I can't remember. I'll put it in the description box, to tape all of the parts together and in the inside as well, so that the rat's pee wouldn't work between the layers. And yeah, just took the inner measurements and put it together, and now I have a really deep tray. And the benefit of this deep tray is that the rats, it's a little bit too high. It's 20 centimeters high, so it's a bit too high for the rats to kick sawdust out. A little bit does still kind of end up in the sides, but not as much as it did when I was using a shorter Corex tray. And the reason that I have, sorry, I just realised I got sick, that I got distracted from what I was talking about. Nova, no. Oh, fine, you can go. Is that, are you coming? The reason why I wanted a deep substrate layer, beside that it's gives a bit of cushioning for if a rat accidentally fell, it's mostly so that, where are you going? Where are you going? Go over here, please. Thank you. Mainly if a rat was to fall on this side of the cage or this part of the cage, then it would be nice and cushioning for them. Hi, you're under cage. It is safe for the rats to be on the floor. I just wanted I'd just rather that she wasn't on the floor because she's harder to film when I'm trying to do a taste tour. Oh, bye-bye. Goodbye, Nova. It's okay, the cats aren't here just now. Otherwise, this door wouldn't be open and she wouldn't be allowed out of the door at all. She also comes when called whenever it suits her as well, so she'll be fine, disappearing off into the abyss. This is how we do floor time when the cats aren't here, I promise. Isn't it? Yes. Surprise. Yeah, so I feed them in the substrate layer. You'll notice that there aren't any bowls. We do have dishes, so wet food or water tends to go in these, and we have a hanging water dish which is getting washed just now, which normally sits about here, and that's not really as a water source, it's more because the rats really like to play in the water and quite like to they quite like to fish for peas. So yeah, I like to just give them, you stop climbing up the side of the cage. So I quite like to give them options whenever they have water. But yeah, we don't have any other bowls and they don't get their food in bowls, and that's because I feed, are you gonna go for a run? That's just because I feed a muesli. We're just moving that away from me. I feed a muesli diet and I scatter feed it, and that's to encourage them to eat whatever they find and to not be selective, and they get fed a set amount and it's mixed into their substrate because the rats spend a lot of time in the cage. Especially when I'm at work. So I work 9 to 5, and obviously when I'm at work the rats can't get out. So yeah, I use the scatter feed method, and it's worked really well for my group of rats in terms of just keeping them active and healthy. We monitor their weight as well, and we haven't noticed that anyone's kind of not getting enough and stuff, which is fantastic. And every so often they will get, like the other day they got a bowl of quinoa and rice, which was quite nice. Hello, my beautiful girl. How are you? Say hello. Yeah. I don't think there's anything else to say about it. They get water actively out. I use hammocks and rope and this thing that needs to be replaced to try and help them get around the cage and stop them from potentially falling too far, even though they're really resilient. And that's the current cage. I think in the future, oh, I'll tell you, sorry, I'm sitting down. I need to get better camera skills. So the next design that I really want to do, I have been storing Amazon and pet food boxes for and Christmas boxes and stuff, because I really want to make a kind of like Joe's apartment like scene, or just a kind of like apartment like scene at the background, but it'll be 3D, so kind of like this, but multi-leveled. So it's like you take a row of houses or a block of flats and you slice through the front of it and the rats can kind of snake up it. So yeah, I'm sketching it out, making sure I have enough cardboard boxes and patience for it, and hopefully I'll be able to make it soon. So yeah, that's why I kind of want to say a little bit of a goodbye to this layout, because soon I'm hoping to try it where this part here will be a little bit more layered and we'll have more on it. Because I read that rats are really good at climbing cages, and climbing cages are certainly what many fanciers are promoting just now. But apparently rats are, I can't pronounce this word, I'm not sure, fossorial. Anyway, I'll stick the word somewhere. Please tell me how I'm meant to pronounce it. I should have googled it before I started talking. But anyway, it means that they're ground dwelling, so they're more likely to kind of live in cave networks or tunnel networks, sorry, not cave networks. And I'm just quite excited to see how the rats will react when they've spent the past 6 to 8 months of their lives in a... Sorry, you looked guilty. My rats have spent the last 6 to 8 months of their life in this kind of an active layout which promotes climbing, and I really want to see how they react to a more kind of, you know, diggy, twisty, underground like theme, kind of like what this tried to do just with the what is that called, the fireplace kind of, there's an S bend in here. So I'm quite excited to try that. I'm gonna shut up now because this video is suddenly really long, and I've got the feeling that I talked way too much about nonsense, which is a problem of me not scripting videos. And I'm probably gonna look back on this and cringe because my hand's been shaky, or I've not focused on a rat and I've actually been focusing on something else. But yeah, hopefully this wasn't a disaster. Anyway, thank you for listening for this long if you've made it. I'm glad that you've spent so much time watching Daisy and Poppy and Nova, who's now came back to tag me and now disappeared. I'm sorry Bear's not been anywhere. I think he's in here because a shredded paper, I freaked him out and he went and hid in there. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and let me know what you think. If there's anything that you think I should try as in terms of a layout, or something that you do that your rats have been like, please tell me. If you don't want to do it publicly, just DM me on Twitter. I'd love to try new ideas, because I always feel like I go to my usual layouts, which tend to be this style, or a kind of like chinchilla like layout with lots and lots of rat shelves. So I'm really trying to just try and give my rats different environments. But yeah, babbled too much now, almost 20 minutes. Well, shut up. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it, and I hope you like the ideas. I hope you don't lynch me for them. Yeah, thank you so much. Bye. Go.